Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 7 of our Revell 70 Plymouth Roadrunner 2-kit build. I got a bunch done here, and I had to bring you back because this will be the last one before our finale, and I wanted to show you everything that we got going on here. So let's get these guys out the way, and we'll get started. They all came in today. It's Saturday, just so that they could get this thing ready to show everybody. So let me pop this hood off real quick, and we'll talk about this engine. I'll bring in a few pictures here as I go, but with the engine, let me grab something I can point with. I still haven't found my finger. I added the coil to the side over here and then ran the coil wire up. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's down in here. The kit doesn't have a coil, so I made that out of just a toothpick that I rounded down a little bit on the front, drilled it out, painted it, and just put a little band of bare metal foil around it, and then just glued it into place with a little bit of super glue. We have our heater hoses run, and they're just 0.8 millimeter solder that I painted with rubber black. I drilled the holes out when we first started the build with the engine, and then just drilled the 2 holes on the firewall and just ran them back the way I think they should look nice. The brake booster is in. Put the 2 little expansions over here just to make it look nice in there. I just Hollywooded those. They just ran down to the back. Like I said, this build's never going to be picked up and flipped over, so I didn't really need to run them all over the place because you're never going to see them, and I wanted to spend that time on other stuff. The booster, vacuum booster, is run for the brake booster. Battery cables are run. Look at how nice that battery terminals are. Those were just molded in like that. I didn't have to do anything to them at all. The water bottles, I'm really happy with that. The green could have been a little bit more neon-y green, I guess you would call it. Add a little more yellow to it. But what I did is I mixed that with flat white, and that's just lemon yellow and a little tiny bit of park green mixed in there to bring it to that color. I painted the line down with that, flat white on the top. This one is sky blue and flat white, just to give it that windshield washer look. And then I let that dry and came back with just kind of a wash with flat white and went over top of the light blue and over top of the neon green with that to give it that depth, so it looks like it's inside the bottle and not just painted on the outside. I let that dry overnight. There's a piece of lint here that's driving me nuts. And then I came back today and I hit this with quick shine and gave it a little bit of the I don't know, gloss look to it, so it looks like it's that plastic. We added our radiator hose, dropped in there nice. I like that. These Revell kits, they're just something else. I don't even know what skill level. This is a skill level 4. And I'll tell you what, it is a real nice fitting kit. But I dropped the radiator hose in. Remember, I told everybody when you're putting an aftermarket distributor in, make sure that it's down and out of the way so that the 6-pack air cleaner can fit. Mine dropped right in there with no problems whatsoever. I came back after I did this and looked, and I'm like, something's missing. What is it? I couldn't think of it, and all of a sudden I realized there's no windshield washer line. So I added a little line, just Hollywooded it, dropped it down so it'd look like it's coming back and around that way. I also added the overflow going to the bottle for the radiator. I put the little copper dot on the or brass looking dot on the top of the radiator cap in the center there, because they all have that look. a little bit of chrome silver for the wing nuts for the air cleaner. The air cleaner, I just did flat white. I didn't get real fancy with that. It's just flat white, and below it is semi-gloss black to make it look like that rubber. Because one thing, this hood, and this kind of, I wish they had it because it's cool, but I can see why they don't. But the hood is supposed to have a little piece that comes down over the top of the air cleaner, and it matches down around this rubber boot right here, so that when the air gets pulled in there, it's coming through the grabber and down and in there. And they just don't have that. There should be a vacuum container up here and all kinds of stuff. It's just not there. I'm not going to even try to build it. Not for this, because the hood's really never going to be open on this kit. I did paint the foam in here, the insulation. I did flat black and then came back with a little bit of gray and a little bit of antique white, or tapioca they call it, and just spot touched it around here and there just to give it a little bit of depth and make it look like it's not just one big flat black color there. And I think it looks good. It looks better than it does on the film, I think. Yeah, you can see that. It looks like it's foam. And I like that. I like that a lot. I was told today that this the inside of the engine bay should be the same color as the body. And I kind of knew that, but when I was doing the other side of the kit, I wasn't even thinking. And I did it, and I was all the way finished with it before I was like, hey, dummy, that's not right. But by then it was too late to go back with it. So with this one, I just had to kind of eat it and do the same thing because of the way this display is going to be. So that's why that's the black. And you know what? To be honest with you, it really highlights that engine. So if I was restoring this thing, I would probably paint the inside of that black just to show off my engine like that. But there's the engine, the alternator. I ran on two AWG 32 wires. I twisted them up, painted them rubber black, drilled a tiny hole in the back of the alternator, and I ran that around underneath all the, should have thought of it first. I had to weave it underneath all of the, ignition lines. There's the spark plug wires, and run back to the back. But I got it in there, and fortunately I did that before I put the body on, or else it just wouldn't have had it. Speaking of putting the body on, the glass, I said I was going to do a video on how I put glass in. This isn't the kit that I wanted to do that with because it's just one piece of glass, and it actually had 3 mounting points. There's one up front and 2 in the back. And to be honest with you, I think that if you just push that in, it snapped into place for me, and it held there. I shook it up and down a couple of times, and it held into place pretty good. But I still used a little bit of quick shine right where the holes, the mounting holes were. I put a drop in each one of those, and you could see it just capillary action around that clear plastic to the roof. So it kind of locked it in. I let it sit overnight because I did that just before I was going upstairs anyhow, and came back and it was all dry and nice and happy and everything. So we attached the interior to the body panel, or the body frame. There's 2 mounting posts in the back here for the interior to lock into, and they snapped in there really nice and tight to where I didn't glue anything up with that, because I know that the chassis is going to hold that into place. It's just kind of a locator for when you put everything together, and didn't need to do anything with it. So I put the body down on top of the chassis, and up front here where the chassis meets the firewall, or the fender wells, it was perfect. It literally laid in there perfect. Now, I do have to come back because this will drive me absolutely bonkers, and I haven't done it yet, is hit this bottom piece here on the radiator with a little bit of semi-gloss black. I kind of thought that's where the glue was going to go instead of going on the front of it when this all went together, and I just haven't gotten back down to painting it. but I will. The front tires I left movable. The back tires, since I don't want this thing to roll off the display, I glued in place. But the stance on this thing is perfect. I didn't have to do anything extra to it, except for I did put a little bit of glue on the front here, on where the chassis meets the fender wells. I glued it together right there and right here. It was already touching. I had to actually pull it apart to get the glue in there, and then just kind of held it there for 3 or 4 seconds, and then the glue solided up, and good to go. Again, remember, I didn't like that long stripe, so I cut it off right at the Roadrunner. Love that look. I really do. The decals for the turn signals are outstanding on this kit, so we used them. Up front, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set this down for a second, and I'm going to lift the camera up. This is going to be shaky, but it'll be okay. We're going to come way up and back, because I want to show you this front and back bumpers. The front bumper, I'll bring my hand up here, fell in place. Both the top and the bottom. I didn't have to do anything special to them. That's the way they went in. No problems whatsoever. You can see I made my own license plate. That's really easy to do. If you have Photoshop and Microsoft Publisher and you'd like to know how I do this, let me know, because I can make a video on that in like 5 minutes. It's that simple how I do it. The glass went in no problem. I Mod Podged it in, just a couple of little tiny dots where the glass mates to the frame, or to the bumper, and then let that sit. And then I came back with some quick shine, and I did all the glass with quick shine. The turn signals, what I did is I put them into the bumper, and this is before I added the bumper to the car, but I put them into the bumper, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that or not, but if you look in the back, you can see a little bit of orange in there. And what I did is, where the little pegs go through the bumper, I painted those orange, because these turn signals would have been an orange bulb over clear, and that worked perfect. It looks just like there's an orange bulb inside there. That was pretty slick. I was hoping it'd do that and not just make it look like the whole thing was orange. But even if it did that, I was okay with that, because it is what it is. But this has this little point that sticks out, and that really made that little light look like it's a bulb inside there. So instead of painting it on the outside, paint it on the back and let the light do it for you. The back bumper, same thing, fell in place. There's 2 microscopic mounting points for this thing. There's not a whole lot to mount it, but it's enough to make it to where it holds in place. Again, I made my own bumper or license plate for the back. I didn't Molotov pen the tips. I just didn't want to. I'm going to be handling this thing, putting it on the display way too much, so I didn't want to mess that up. But the reason why I'm showing you this bumper is, look at those backup lights. They really look good now that it's on the car. And like I said, what that is just flat white. Let it dry overnight, come back with just a... what I do is I take my panel liner and a Q-tip, trying to grab a Q-tip, and I'll put the tip on the Q-tip and let it suck most of the panel liner off of that little brush that comes with it. And then I touch these, and just that little tiny bit of panel liner gets into that flat white, and it just darkens it up. It's not gray. It's kind of shiny, translucent, I guess, is the best color or best way I could describe it. And then after that dried, and I let it dry for 3 or 4 days just because I didn't get back to it yet, I put a drop of quick shine in there, and I did that when I did the front bumpers, or the front headlights, so when I had the quick shine out. So I dropped it in there, and bang, man, that looks just like glass now. So that's the way I do that all the time. Those turning signals, just clear red over the chrome and Mod Podged into place. They're never going anywhere. The interior on this is very detailed for the kit. The whole thing is really got a lot of detail molded right in it. There's not a high parts count on this kit at all. But I'm telling you, if you look, you can see you can make a pretty dang good looking kit out of this thing. Remember, I painted the inside the flat black, just left it go. Nobody's going to be able to look up this way underneath there anyhow. And then I came back with my number 2 mechanical pencil and did my panel lines. And I like that. Black would be just way too much. That mechanical pencil is just, it's like the Goldilocks. It's just right. But with that, I'm going to let you go. I got one more video to do, and that's on the display. We've gotten started. I showed you the fence before. I added a few signs to the fence. My group build sign, a Texaco sign, a little Pepsi thermostat or thermometer on the good side. And if you look, I even put a little bit of light weathering on the fence here. Like these have been here just a little bit, and dirt and stuff from the rain and all that, and the tree that's hanging over the fence is starting to show a little bit on the fence line. The backside, it's going to go like this. I weathered those signs out like crazy. The front side, it's just photo paper that I printed this out on, and then I just cut them out. I got the Texaco sign and the Pepsi thermometer just off pictures on Google. Just searched them. The Grandpa Mark's Hobbies I made when we first started the group build. And what I did with these is literally just took the Tamiya's Weathermaster, the rust, and I went all over it with that. And then I came back and I went over it with the oil from the Weathermaster D, and hit it with that. And then I came back with pastels, and I used my browns and desert tan and yellows and red. And that's where I did the weathering coming down the boards like that. And that looks really good. I even went out when I was cutting the grass today. I found a tree. I'm going to put the tree coming out of the engine compartment on this. So it's going to be right about here. So all this is going to look really, really cool all together, with the new on the one side, the old on the other side, and on the rotating platform. It's going to be really cool. I'm just ticked. My rotating platform, I got it because it's rechargeable. Yeah, well, it doesn't charge at all. I contacted the manufacturer and pretty much got nothing back. So it is what it is. It's just I'm not going to be able to have it spin when I take it to a show, which kind of disappoints me, but whatever. At least it's going to look cool as heck. So with that, I'm going to let you go here. One more update to go, and that'll be the finale. We'll do music and everything with that, just like I always do, and that's going to be big time, because I'm super excited about how this has turned out all the way. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to start doing measurements and everything for getting the display board built, and then probably next Saturday I'll have an update for you for this. But let me know if you want me to do how I do license plates and signs and stuff like that using Photoshop and Microsoft Publisher, and I'll be glad to knock that out, because I can do that after work sometime, no problem. But with that, I want to thank everybody for the subscriptions, the thumbs up, the kind words, the corrections, the help, and everything. Without you guys, I'd still be, you making glue bombs. So I will let you go. Y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow. And thanks again for watching.